Mhm.
Hi everyone, welcome to Riding Tiger with Arijit. And definitely before I introduce my guest for today's talk show, he's practically from USA and I'm sure that he's going to enjoy his next part of the day because there is celebration which is waiting for my friend. Before I do that, I'll be explaining what is Riding Tiger and I'll be talking a little bit about entrepreneurship and how things are happening and disruptions are happening in and across the globe. So Riding Tiger is basically a concept for people who have the courage and who have the dare to start a journey which is completely on risk. As you know, if you start your entrepreneurial journey, when you start it, it is a cup. So you feed it with milk and eventually with the intention that this cup will become big one day. And one day you will ride on the top of it. But when you start riding, you understand that there is a risk. If your tiger is hungry and if you don't feed it properly, it's gonna stop and probably it can attack you. And that's what happens in the business life. When you start your journey, when you start riding on the top of your own venture, if you don't feed it with money, it's gonna, of course, try to kill you. So there is only one option left. Either you stop your journey or you stop your business, which usually entrepreneurs don't do. Although I understand business and entrepreneurs are two different kind of vertical altogether. Entrepreneurs are always start their journey by passion. They take a lot many risks. Same goes with business people, but somehow business is meant for making money. Entrepreneurs, a little bit of different. They want to make a disruption. They want to do something for the society. They want to do something cool for the community. Irrespective of the fact how much money they are earning, it doesn't matter for them. And today, I have got a great person who started his journey and we have been chatting with each other for quite a long number of time. And I saw the passion in his eyes, passion in his work, whatever he is doing. So if you can kindly introduce yourself to our audience and eventually talk a little bit about the amazing platform that you're creating. Over to you.
Yes, Arijit, thank you so much for this opportunity. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm calling in from the US. I'm on the East Coast. My name is Nate Mega. I'm the founder and CEO of Karma App Studio. The reason why I named it Karma App Studio is very simple, because the word good is implied. Good Karma App Studio. All of the apps that we develop have good karma in them, positive intentions, useful applications, things that can help people's lives in a quality way. I did very well in real estate investing a long time ago. I don't really need to do this. As you said, when you're an entrepreneur, you feel a calling. It's almost like something that's deep inside of you to try to disrupt the world or change the world. So basically what happened is I invested my life savings and did a pivot and said I could have taken the comfortable path. You know, I could have had been semi-retired maybe 10 years ago. But about 5 years ago, I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start an app studio. I have an offshore team. They're all in India. We're on the East Coast, and we are making disruptive apps. So there's all kinds of things we're doing, mostly business to consumer apps. We don't do any SaaS. We're not doing anything on desktop. We're mobile only. And so I'm entirely self-taught. Okay, I do know some basics of programming. However, I'm more in the UI UX side. So I'm an artist deep down. One of my passions is actually oil painting.
Wow.
You can check out my website, natemega.com, where I have featured some of my paintings, which are large format. They're 48 by 60 inches. They're large abstract oils. And something that differentiates me from most other tech CEOs is that I am an artist at heart. So I feel that my design aesthetic is very, very strong. So when I design an app, it's beautiful. Okay, the design, the UI, the UX. So I take care of all the front end. I come up with the ideas, I mastermind it, I find a market, I hone the product to market fit. And by the way, I only paint for my wife, so they're very special. They're not for sale. I could probably sell them. You know, I have some connections to galleries in Boston and New York. I choose not to sell them. But the thing is that I have a kind of, to say, a Renaissance man. So I paint, I'm a writer. I wrote a book about 10 years ago. It was a sci-fi novel, and I enjoy art. And the thing is with Karma App Studio is that the good karma is implied. So you could please check out my website, karmaappstudio.com, for more information on that. And we're always trying to push the envelope of what we could do with apps. There are 6.8 billion smartphones in the world as of June 2022. That's almost 70% of the population in the world has a smartphone. What is inside each of these smartphones is apps. That's why I know when you walk around anywhere in the world, people are staring at these things. There's these little rectangular devices. They're magical. Steve Jobs is my hero. God bless him. It was sad to see him go. Of course, Android is also excellent. I'm glad to see we have something else aside from the iPhone. But when Steve came out with that first presentation, the iPhone 1, he held it up in his hand. I don't know if you remember this.
Yes.
This was a big moment in my life. He held up the phone and he said, ladies and gentlemen, this is the iPhone. And ladies and gentlemen, for whatever you need, there's an app for that. He held up the phone and I said, that is genius. This thing can do anything. Probably the iPhone, I would say, is the greatest invention of the last 100 years. And that inspired me. He was a hero to me. His biography by Walter Isaacson is a masterpiece, paying homage to a great genius, a very misunderstood man. And that's when I decided to get into apps.
You know what? I am feeling like probably I'm talking to myself. I'm an artist and I draw. Definitely,
Yeah.
I'm a coder and I'm a self-taught coder. Definitely, I'm an entrepreneur. I do invest. I created funds. I created accelerators. But when I'm talking to you and you're bringing out my hero as well, because Steve Jobs is my hero.
Yep.
You remember when he launched iPod and said that, ladies and gentlemen, I represent you, the greatest innovation, which is an iPod. Within this, you can insert music and you can enjoy it.
Yes.
Think of the mindset of such kind of personality. And when I'm talking to you, I can completely resonate the kind of disruption which probably you're going to make. Tell us something more about this new application which you are building in Karma App Studio.
Great. I'd love to tell you about a new startup that we're working on. It's very exciting. It's called talk2.guru. It's an idea I came up with about 2 years ago. The app is in development. Of course, you know, we're seeking investment. It's all part of the process. The capital raise, me being the CEO, it's all part of the necessary steps to take the app to the next level. So currently the app is in development. We're not quite at beta. We are seeking a seed round. Further information upon request, if anyone would like to see a pitch deck, I have all that. The team is in place. And talk2.guru, I actually got the idea. It was a late night. It was about 2 a.m. I was walking around at my old house in my neighborhood. I went for a walk. It was in a spring night. I was just trying to clear my mind. And I said, you know, I had something on my mind. I don't even remember. The fact is, everyone has some kind of problems. There's always something, there's issues, there's stress that comes up in life. And I said, I was all alone. Everyone was asleep. I said, if only there was a way I could take out my iPhone and maybe call someone and could get some advice, get some counseling, get some self-help. Why doesn't that exist on an iPhone as an app? So we have all the IP, the intellectual property, we have this across the board. So we're not, you know, really divulging any secret sauce. However, what it is talk2.guru is an app that enables people to get self-help. We've identified there's probably 4 or 5 main elements that cause people the most stress. You have financial stress, societal stress, environmental stress, which is now tricky with global warming. You have political stress. You have family stress. Sometimes education, people push themselves too hard, they get stressed that way. You have all kinds of even to say physical stress if your body is stressed. So these are the kind of things that are the main elements in what the gurus are all trained. Okay, we actually have a people that train them. Each of the gurus are well educated, well trained. Okay, they are going to be in India. The call center will be there. The reason why is because the accent, the kindness, the compassion that comes along with that culture. I'm very drawn to the Indian culture. Ancient, as you know, karma is something that the ancient Indian philosophers kind of figured out, came up with. In my opinion, karma is kind of like the invisible justice of the universe. It's something that keeps us all in balance. And I feel like the good karma, when you put that out, it comes back. If you do bad karma, the bad karma comes back. So when I named my company Karma App Studio, as I said, the good karma is implied. And we feel that Talk2.Guru is nothing but good karma. We feel that helping this app will go viral. Mark my words, it could help millions, potentially billions of people. We're going to have a call center. I have my COO, Rahul Ratnatakur, who's been with me from the beginning. He's a very special guy. He's been with me for 5 years. He's going to run the call center. I trust him. I'm looking to try to possibly get him a visa to come into the United States so we could be together. I consider him a true brother. He's been with me for about 5 years through all the bootstrapping, through all the trials and tribulation of fundraising and many other things. But he's the kind of person that I've developed a trust and relationship with so that I can actually have that call center and he can manage that. We have Sunil Patel, my CTO, who helps manage the team. We currently have between 16 to 18 developers that work for me offshore, not full-time, they're part-time. Honestly, I just don't have enough capital, but they are a team. I've hand-trained them. They're all full stack developers.
Brilliant.
And
when you talk about actually,
yes.
When you talk about karma and when we are discussing about ancient India, I would love to share you a couple of things. Many of people feel that India is usually full with probably one flute and with snakes. Frankly, that's not India, that's a myth. First of all, when we are talking about karma and when we are talking about gurus, let me take your one line. When at 2 a.m. you wanted to talk to someone, you felt that I want to discuss something with somebody. You are not just going for a normal usual discussion. At the top, entrepreneurs are actually lonely. I don't know how many of you can actually understand that. When you're doing a lot many things, there are a lot of things going on in your life, including your physical structure. They are basically lonely guys who are making disruption. Okay, they are like eagles. They can't fly with many other birds together, right?
That's right.
In some point of time, people need a guidance. Some point of time, people need somebody to discuss with. It's not about that they are going to get some kind of reply or response which is positive or negative. There is nothing called positive or negative in the mortal universe. It's all about karma. The way you are doing it, the way you are getting it back, it actually depends on your own work structure and your own communication skills. But you need somebody to discuss that just as a counselor. And when you are talking about gurus, gurus are the kind of people who are like water. Now, what is the definition of water? Water means somebody who is reflection of yourself. So the way you are dealing with that person, you will get the kind of reflection back. Number one. Number two, water is calm. You don't feel the urge of water until or unless you are thirsty. So in life, when the thirst for wisdom, when the thirst for communication usually occurs, you need some kind of personality. And when you are talking about karma, when you are talking about ancient India, the concept goes is like, basically we have three working structure in human being. One is your creation, which we call as Brahma. One is the protection that you do, which we call as Vishnu. One is the destruction, which is called Shiva. And that's the reason
Disruption, like in startups.
It's called destruction. Destruction means
Oh,
you need to
oh, sorry.
destruct your negative elements in life. Okay.
Yes,
So
yes.
Shiva kills the negative elements. But when these three part combines with Mahamaya, which is a symbolic representation of a woman, it becomes Param Brahma. Param Brahma doesn't have any size, any emotion, any reflection. It's all about peace. So when you are at peace, you are focused
Peace.
enough, to decide more, to react more, to probably combine your work and your reaction in a particular way. And to be very honest, I'm sure that is going to be viral because frankly speaking, entrepreneurs at the top who have a lot more things to do and who are pretty well connected in the top level, they have a one single desire. They want to mix with people. They want to
That's right.
They want to talk to same like-minded people. So when you have those kind of gurus in your platform, sure it's gonna blow others' mind and it's gonna help locking up other people. Tell me something, my friend. When you're talking about creating that app, I'm sure that it actually came in your mind and you want to run that as a call center concept. That's okay, like we can definitely have that. But what do you want to achieve? Why you starting this kind of application? Are you trying to
help people? I feel that aside from the money, obviously everyone loves money, needs money. Sure, this app can take millions, potentially billions on an exit. But what's more important to me is the karma that will come from helping people. Okay, there are so many people that are most people, by the way, get their advice from their friends, their family, their loved ones, their spouse, their boyfriend, girlfriend, or their doctor, or perhaps someone who's an authority figure, a mentor, a professor. There's only a handful of ways typically. Now, traditional medical counseling, at least in the States, I don't know how it is over there, it's very complicated to get a doctor's appointment. It's very complicated to get someone that accepts your insurance. It's very complicated to just get that appointment, book that appointment. Sometimes also, what if I need help right now? What if I want to pick up the phone right now? I don't want to wait 2 weeks, 3 weeks. The other issue is with medical, it costs a lot of money. A copay is between $60 to $80. So what we're doing with Talk2.Guru in terms of the monetization strategy, let's just talk about this for a second. We want to offer each user 15 minutes of free talk time, perhaps a one-time, to talk to a guru, to let them into the world of a safe environment where there's no judgment and they can be bestowed upon with some wisdom, where they can talk about their problems freely with a well-educated, well-trained, compassionate person to listen to their problems, to help guide them through. The thing is, we are all human beings on this planet. It doesn't matter if you're in India and I'm in the United States, or if someone is calling from Africa or anywhere in Asia or Latin America, we all have basically the same common problems. They all come down to the 5 main core things: financial, political, societal, socioeconomic, physical, and also there's that kind of danger sense. If people feel like they're in danger or if anyone's being abused in any way, this is a safe place where people can talk about relationships. They can talk about money. They can talk about their job, their dreams, their hopes, their aspirations. By the way, it doesn't just necessarily have to be negative. What about, this is for me, a really good karma. What about a place where people could go to talk about positive things? What about a place as enhancement for their life, to augment the quality of their life? That's not necessarily I'm focusing on problems, but perhaps be grateful and mindful of things that are going right, but perhaps they just want to make them even better.
Brilliant. You know what? Very recently, I co-founded another company called Health Planeta, which is doing exactly the same thing, but not on application basis, which is basically giving human life, yoga, Ayurveda, nutrition, and mental peace here in India as well as in Thailand. So if you look at the entire structure of old ancient Bharatvarsh, it used to be one, to be very, very honest. So all these culture is somehow interconnected. I can go on with this subject because this is one of my
Yes.
favorite subject. I can read, write, and speak in Sanskrit, and probably that's the reason I can
Wow.
read all those old
Really?
manuscripts. Yeah.
So if you can understand Sanskrit, you must know this phrase, Buddham Saram Gachami. I go to the Buddha for refuge.
Right. So aham is a concept. Aham means ami, means I. So aham in another sense can mean that I have a lot of ego. So when a person can release the I factor from himself, from the heart, then only you can empty your cup and you can have the wisdom. It's a different discussion, my friend, which probably we can go on and on, but I wish
Philosophical.
I'm sure. And I wish a good luck to this application. I'm sure that a lot many people will communicate and connect. And principally, I'll be more than happy to handshake and definitely would love to take these things forward with you and
Great.
with your amazing team. And let's see how we can disrupt the world together. But I have a question before you
Perfect.
go.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So when you start any business, I'm sure that you have all the passion in your mind, which you really want to disrupt the world. What if you can't disrupt the world? What will be your mindset in that particular point of time?
Okay, good question. Great question. This is not my only app. I've released 4 apps. They're all disruptive in their own way. My goal with Karma App Studio is to be the king of the App Store someday. I would like to aim for, I have a number in mind, 100. I currently have.
Nate, you're muted. Somehow you got muted.
Sorry about that. So my goal is to have 100 hit apps. I will get there with enough capital, get some VC going, get the ARR going, get the momentum, build out the team. So I would love to have maybe 100 or maybe even 1,000 developers someday, and get that headquarter probably in Ahmedabad, and maybe have a secondary one in Delhi. That's where some of my top guys are. And so that's the dream. And it takes years. There's no such thing as overnight success. And any entrepreneur will tell you that it takes 10 years to have big things happen. Yep. That's 90% of it is preparation, reading, learning, listening, talking to people, being humble, grateful, and trying to help the world. I feel like as a human being, every day is a gift that God has bestowed upon us, and that if you're not doing amazing things, you're not fulfilling what God wants you to do. So I am trying to do amazing things through apps. So if it's not this one, it's going to be the next one. I have a dating app in development. That's about 5 years in development. That is aiming to change the world for people to find real love, real, genuine love. It's revolutionary. That one I cannot divulge the secret sauce, but that one is a major.
You don't need to share any secret sauce, but
that one is. So that's the short answer to your question is, I have many paths to spread my karma, my good karma through my apps. And if one is maybe not as successful as the other one, it's all going to be a wash, because the goal is to have all of these apps successful and helping people all over the world.
Brilliant. So the way answer goes for all the audience, as you can see, a passionate person like him, the guy who really want to disrupt the world, they don't stop themselves with 1 or 2 failure or success. They always go on and they always move on. And moving is basically the moving, I call it as life. If you look back to Sanskrit slokas, if you actually look at the structure of a river, I'll not take Sanskrit, probably not many people can't understand it, but if you look at river, a river always flows on. So if you are flowing, that means you are alive, and definitely in that rock within that river will always have a little bit of small part which will move from that rock towards that water, which means you are making some kind of disruption in the hardship of Sanshar, which is our mortal world. So I would love to take one sloka, Chakravat Parivartante Dukhani Cha Sukhani Cha. The meaning is, this life is a cycle. Within this cycle, you have happiness and you have sorrow. So if you are in the state of sorrow, always remember there is a happiness which is coming up in the cycle. So when you are in the happiness state, always remember there will be something which is not that good, maybe in your perspective, but it may happen. If you bring someone on board, that sorrowness will completely go away and you will always enjoy the absolute bliss in your life. That's what probably Karma App Studio is trying to achieve with the new application that's in the development.
Absolutely. Can I just say something to add to that? That was brilliant. I feel in a way that we're actually having an impromptu Talk to Guru session right now. The two of us, except it's a dual-sided. I'm listening to a guru, and I feel like I have some wisdom to impart as well. And there's a quote from an ancient philosopher named Heraclitus. Speaking of the river, Heraclitus said, "You can only step into the river of time once. As you're born, you kind of get dropped into this river. Your parents they gave birth to you, and you float along the river. Okay, and basically you do have to go with the flow. However, I feel you don't have to go with the flow too much. You don't want to destroy the river. You may want to just make the river a little bit better, a little bit cleaner, a little bit nicer, a little bit more, whatever they might be. And that, for me, is the essence of the disruption. So you don't poison the river. You make the river more special in some way. And that's getting back to your metaphor about the river and the water flowing around the rock.
Brilliant, brilliant. I would love to probably continue this discussion, but I'll stop here because we always do it within 25 minutes. But I'm really happy and blessed that I know you and we are meeting in Zoom. Maybe in your future, we'll be meeting each other physically. Looking forward for that.
I would love that. I would love that. I need to get to India as soon as possible. I have some of my best friends are over there, and I need to do a big tour and do the pilgrimage and meditate with my people over there. A lot of my friends, they told me my karma's pretty strong. I must have been Indian in a past life. Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming and sharing all the insights.
Thank you very much.
That people will love it, and we will be in touch and we'll talk soon and communicate with each other very, very soon. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
And please subscribe the YouTube channel and keep commenting into the channel, as well as keep commenting into the LinkedIn, and feel free to connect this amazing gentleman who is all in for good karma. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Namaste.